Welcome back, everyone. In this video, we're going to talk about the second bullet point, which is technical analysis. Now, just to recap, in the previous video, we talked about preparation on how to build a watch list, where to go to build your scanners, how to look at upgrades and downgrades and apply them into your daily routine. So if you missed that video, go back, check out that video first, then come back here and check out this technical analysis video. So in this one, I'm going to mainly focus on key levels, right? So these are the key levels. When I say key levels, I'll explain to you on a whiteboard exactly what I mean by key levels. They're also called macro levels. I briefly touched on algorithm levels, which everyone here has, and how to go about using them. There is one common chart pattern that I do want to bring your focus to, and that has to do more so with understanding whether a breakout is going to occur or a breakdown is going to occur in a similar fashion. And then I've done quite a lot of videos on supply and demand, but I think the most straightforward thing is a publication, an article that I published a while back. I do have that in a PDF version, so what I'm going to do is drop it in the Discord education channel. Okay, so feel free to look at that, and that's also going to show you how to go about finding these supply and demand zones. It's very, very useful stuff. Okay, so I think the best thing to go about doing this is, well, simply let's take a blank chart. And in this example, what I'm going to do is take Home Depot. Okay, so let's get out of here, go here, and then open this up. So here's QQQ, and we're going to switch quickly to Home Depot. And what I'm going to do is mark the charts so it starts looking more like this, right? These are all macro levels on QQQ. All of you have them in the charts section of the Discord. I'm going to do the same thing and kind of walk through my thought process on doing this on Home Depot. So we have Home Depot. Completely fresh chart, no lines drawn. I don't think I don't believe I have ever marked this chart yet. So this is going to be a first time, and I'll go along and do it with you. Okay. So before we go into marking levels, on TradingView, if you want to mark a horizontal line, there's a keyboard shortcut, and it's simply Alt and H. Okay, so if I hold Alt and click H, it's gonna drop a line on me, right? And it's perfect, the price line. So I'm going to be using that. There's no need to go out and drag a trend line across the entire screen. Okay, so now before we start marking, let's kind of talk about what we need to look for. Okay, so here's a whiteboard, and okay, so most times, you have your charts going up, coming down, going up, coming down, going up, coming down, going up, down, making new highs, coming back down. So you have what looks like a very random price movement, but none of this is actually random, right? So in the market is actually a place where we as traders, investors, hedge funds, all sorts of entities come to buy and sell a particular stock based on what they believe the stock is going to do next. Okay, so they want to know, they have some thesis. I think the stock's going up for XYZ reason, and so I'm going to buy shares. Or they're going to say, I think the stock's going down for XYZ reason, and therefore I'm going to short shares. And so this dynamic and this power this battle between the buyer who thinks it's going to go up versus the short seller or seller thinks it's going to go down is what moves the stock market. And typically when you have buyers and sellers at in equal power, this is known as equilibrium. Okay, so what it means is that there's a perfect balance between buyers and sellers. And when this happens, the stock tends to not really do much. It consolidates, maybe bounces around. No one side is more powerful than the other side. Okay, so you have equilibrium. Now, when you have buyers overtaking sellers, right, then that's when the stock tends to move up. So you get something like this. You have an up move. The opposite is also true. When you have less buyers than sellers, or you simply have more sellers, stock's going to go down, right? You have a lot more supply entering in the market, not enough demand. The price is going to move down. Okay, so something very, very simple, and this kind of goes into supply and demand, so please be sure to read that article. It'll make a little bit more sense as to why I think about things this way. All right, so now that we have somewhat of a very, very basic understanding of how the market moves, we need to talk about where to kind of look for big levels. And typically it's not too hard. It's these peaks and valleys. And now it doesn't sound like much of a secret, but it's actually the simple things here that's overlooked most in trading, is that the most simple resistance or the most simple demand area or support area is overlooked because there's just so much available to us these days with indicators and alerts and media and whatnot, that we forget some of the basic things that can help us make good decisions. So what I'm going to do is on the chart, I'm going to mark some of the big levels first. And to me, these are the big levels, right? All these little peaks and valleys that I'm marking around the square, these are the levels I'm interested in. And we can validate these levels by seeing what the stock did afterward. So suppose that we marked this level. Well, can we consider this a valid level? The easiest way to kind of validate this is to look to the right and see if there's any sort of a support, right? So if I draw a line, let's say I draw this line right here, and this is a big resistance area, okay? And I know it's a resistance area because it goes into this price point, and we have a pretty significant pullback. And then the next time it breaks through, it comes back, retests, and hold that area as support and takes off. This is a level I want to pay attention to. Okay, so in trading, what we want to look for is basically we want to look for resistance turning into support, or we want to look at support turning into resistance. Okay, very, very simple concept, but really powerful stuff when you take a more simpler approach. All right, so I'm going to erase this. Let's go back now. Let's go back now into the chart, and let me get rid of all of that. All right, so right off the bat, you know, I have the chart on the daily time frame. Yes, most of the times I personally trade on the 15-minute. Even I'll look at the hour to see what's going on broadly. But if I want to understand the bigger picture, I need to know where the bigger levels are. And to do that, I like the daily. We can go out to the weekly, but a daily for me is sufficient. So let me kind of walk through my process here. I'm going to start marking this chart. Well, I'm not going to go all the way down here. We'll mark that because it's going to take some time to mark this. This is COVID lows. I don't know if we're going to get that low. If we do, we'll add on later in time. But for now, I think the way I'm going to go about it is this is the area I'm going to focus on. Starting from the $250 level on HD, I'm going to mark levels on my way up. Okay. All right. So right off the bat, one thing that kind of sticks out is, well, it's right here, right? We have a previous resistance that turned into support and it took off. And why is this level of importance? And this is the thing you have to kind of actively think about when you draw pretty much each level is, well, when the price hit this area, right? Look at the strength of this pullback, right? The pullback was incredible. And so we have to take this very seriously. This area is because even though we had COVID news that drove this, the pullback off this level created a resistance point. So the next time that we break above it and kind of hold above it, we can use this as a strong support. And this is what's happening here, right? So the price pushed up, came back, retested. It barely spent any time here, okay? It barely spent time here, and then it just took off. Look at that takeoff. The strength of the pullback off that level, acting as resistance, is almost equal to the push higher when acting as support. So am I interested in this level? Yeah, definitely interested in this level. Want to keep an eye on it. Now there's a couple things. Where do you put the level? Do you put it, do you put it right there on the tip? Do you put it at the bottom of this? Do you put it at the base of the candle? Where exactly should the level go? Okay, very, very common question. And the answer is, it doesn't matter. Okay, as much as probably don't want to hear that, it honestly doesn't matter. And this kind of goes back to the point where stock movement is very dynamic, right? It's not fixed. Stocks don't just move from in round numbers. They don't just move from like $100 to $50 back to $100 back to $150 exact, right? They have some margin of freedom to move up and down, up and above, below the level. So what I like to do is mark the area where I want to know where things are going to happen, right? So where would I mark this level? Well, let's see. I'd like it right around, let's see, 246 area. Why is my magnet's on? All right, let me turn that off because I don't want that. See this? That's what's causing issues. When you turn the magnet on, it latches onto the candle. We don't want that. At least I don't want that. Okay, so I'm going to mark, let's say right there. Okay. So what I'm doing here is I'm not marking exactly the base of the top of this candle, and I'm not exactly marking the bottom wick of this candle. I just want to know if the price is going to come down here, and when it does, to kind of pay attention to it. When I look at this level, when it comes into the trading range, okay, I typically do something like this, right? You guys see this in my videos, you see it in my charts. I draw a little price range around the price level. it tells me that day that, hey, the price is coming into a pretty big level right now. You need to pay attention, give it some wiggle room, let the price dance around, but ultimately you want to pay attention to productive price action at this level. Okay, so that's all that's doing. So it honestly does not matter if you hit the bare bottom of this wick or the top of this candle. It absolutely does not matter. Okay, as long as you pay attention to how the price is moving. All right, let's keep going. So that's the first one I like. Okay, now above that, we can easily see this area right here, right? This area right here, very, very useful. We've hit a double top and kind of consolidated, and then we broke out. Okay, so I'm interested here. And something that the next thing I want to pay attention to is, well, if I draw the level here, is there something else on this side that can validate it? Well, we just recently had the price come down here, right? So where am I exactly looking? Well, a couple areas. I can mark that bottom of that wick. Okay, so this is right here is an area of interest. So I'm going to put it right there, right? The bottom of that wick. Can you mark the base of this candle? Absolutely. And why do I care about that as well? Well, because again, this area right here, it doesn't hit this exact point. It does here and pulls back, right? Let's zoom in really quick. It hits this area, pulls back, but does go above it and tries it again. Okay, so while we may think this is the top and it's acting as the bounce area, there's also the base of this candle, and from here to here, buyers showed up, and from here to here, buyers try to push higher. So there's a level here. Okay, there's a level here. So I want that. Okay, so that's definitely a level. Now, marking levels inside this kind of chop movement is very, very difficult. Okay, very difficult. And this is kind of where understanding the one article that I'm going to post in the education about supply and demand, looking for that rally-based rally or drop-based drop is going to help you out. Okay, so here I see a quick rally-based rally, right? So I am interested in this particular range. I am interested to draw something. Now, where would I want to put my level? This area looks pretty good right here, right? So we had a push higher, rejection, push higher, comes back down. So on this pullback right here, we had another rip higher, which also coincides with this rally-based rally. Okay, so I like that area. So I'm going to mark it because I think it's worth paying attention to. Now, it's not a big level by any means. Okay, when the market starts trading in this particular range, I'm technically not even interested in trading when the market or the price action enters this chop area. Yeah, there's a level there, but again, it's not of interest to me yet. What I'm more interested in is the top of this, which is this level right here. This is a very strong structure, right? This consolidation period, which led to this rally. That tells me when the price comes down here, it's going to be very hard to kind of just like let go and just go back all the way down here to the 250 range. Quite a lot of buying power, buying and selling and price acceptance done here. So I really do like paying attention to these two levels at the moment. All right, so let's keep going. Where else do I see another peak and valley? Well, right here. You see this area? This is somewhere I want to pay attention to. The price took off from that particular point. You see the massive pullback. Okay, and then the price took off. So this is a pretty good area, And can we confirm this level? Well, yeah, look at it right here. When the price dropped, again, it bounced off this level. Came down, bounced off, broke down, bounced off, bounced off, bounced off, bounced off. Not only is it is a psychological number, 300, but it's also an area that was previously a nice launching point for the stock price to elevate to higher levels, and recently it proved itself as a decent support until it broke down. Okay, so come Monday, today's Saturday, come Monday, am I interested in trading this? Yeah. So if I see HD break 300, I'm going to consider playing calls because now we're back above a key level. Okay, we're back above a decent size level. Okay, so let's keep going up here. Okay, so here's an area. Here's after a massive run, we get our first decent sized pullback. A decent sized pullback here. Where do I want to put the level? Well, I'd put it somewhere around here. Why? Because if I look to the right, once the price broke below, it rejected the same area and broke down. Okay, does that make sense? I want to double confirm each level I see with confirmation of the price moving in the direction I think it should be moving. Okay, so what I'm going to do is mark that level. Okay, and so you could see that once it broke, once the resistance came and you see the wicks, it broke down. Once it broke below, it tried to get back up and failed, and it broke down even lower. Okay, so this is an area I'm paying attention to. We continue moving to the right, we can see that it starts moving higher. Once it breaks above, it stays above, right? Price stays above this level and moves higher. We have a little bit of degree of error right here on this level. So it pushes above, comes back down, pushes back above. But ultimately, this area right here holds, and we get what is the next big push higher. Okay, so I like this level. I want to pay attention to it based on just looking at how the price moved and danced around here. Okay, let's keep going. Is this something of interest? Yes, it is. The fact that it moved up this high and then just kind of tapered off, I would be interested in marking this area. Where do I mark it? Well, if I mark it right here, right, you can see a touch here, you can see a resistance here that turned into support here and here, right? So I pretty much, I do like that area, and I want to make sure that it's on my charts. Why? Because it's a pretty big resistance that turned into support. Okay, so am I marking exactly this top wick? No, not really. Am I marking this exact top wick? No, not really. This bottom? No. I can move this around, right? I can put this one here, and that may fit. You know, if you're completely OCD about having the line touch the wick or the base, you could do that. Again, it doesn't matter because what we're interested is in the range around this level, right? We want to see how the price behaves around this level. Does the buyer have control here, or does the seller have control here? We need to know so we can pick a direction whether to play calls or puts. Okay, so I'm going to move it right back to where I liked it, just a little bit higher, because I don't want it to be perfect, and that's part of the point in doing this, is that there's not that perfect level that you're ever going to find. It's more so about the range. All right, so let's keep going. Where's another big area? Well, right here, right? We see a consolidation phase where the price just absolutely fails to get back above this 375 range for a long time. These candles are in days, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, a lot of days, right? About 2.5 weeks worth of price movement that really didn't go anywhere, kind of just stuck here. So I'm interested. Can I confirm drawing something here? Well, let me look to the right. Yeah, I can. Check out where the resistance happens here, right? Once this thing breaks down, it acts as resistance. So is this a level that is automatically a valid level to mark? Yeah, absolutely it is. So I'm going to mark that area, right? I want that. So I like this area, pretty big level for me. I want to pay attention to it. Why? Because it's also a lower high, right? If we are thinking about price movement, look at what happened. And we have our little consolidation. This is a lower high. This is a lower low. This is a lower high. We don't have a lower low, possibly a double bottom. This is the lower low, right? So we can say this is the lower low. Okay, so I am interested because this is going to be a key level to break to actually run back to the highs. When I see the price come back into this area, I'm going to watch this because the moment it starts showing strength, it's going to break out. It is going to break out all the way up towards 400 range, okay, within a matter of days. So yeah, I'm interested in this level. It's a big level. Here's another area. When we form this double top, this is the neckline. Okay, so if you recall what a double top looks like, it's pretty much this. And we break down. Okay, so typical, we draw our line right there. And this is the market saying no, this price is too high. This needs to come back down. It tests it one more time, fails to make a higher high, instead makes this double top. And once it breaks below the neckline, we basically flush, right? So I'm interested in this neckline. I want to keep an eye on it on the way back up because this is an area of a pullback area of support because we did bounce back up, right? When you have the first top being formed, you get this pullback. It does hold up as support to make the second top. Okay, and you can see if we mark this area, can we validate it? Well, yeah. I like this level as support off this double top, and I can see the next time it came down here, the price just didn't flush, right? Came here and it bounced for 2-3 days. The price went higher. So I can validate this level as an area of support. Will this act as an area of resistance on the way up? Could, definitely could, and that's why we're going to keep an eye on it. We want to know that level ahead of time. So where do we want to mark this? Well, again, rough estimate, you want to keep it on the tip of this if you want to. You can, right? You can say, hey, I want to pay attention to that wick on the way up, which is also the base of this candle, and I'm going to pay attention to this 382 level. You absolutely can, no harm. But just to kind of, be a little less restrictive and kind of show you that it doesn't need to be perfect, I'm going to move my level up. I'm going to move it up there. I want to know, I don't want to know exactly here. I want to know a little bit up above. And I will show you if the price ever comes that high, that I can use that level to make informative decisions to take profits, making a trade off of it. Right? Because the perfect level doesn't exist and it doesn't matter. Okay, so let's continue up and then we'll work our way back down. Okay, so next thing, is this an area of interest? Yeah, it is. Is it a big level? This is not a big level. Okay, it is a level. It is not a big level. Now, the price moved up, came back down, held this, pushed up higher, and pulled back. Why do I think this is not a big level? Well, because we really didn't get much of a push higher by holding here, right? It came down, it pushed a little bit higher from through 400 to 420. So is it a decent support? It's okay. It's nothing great. Do I want to pay attention to it? Yeah, I'll pay attention to it, but I don't want to know exactly here. I want to know, I'll probably look at this right here, at the base of this candle, right? So I want base of that candle, bottom wick of this candle. This seems to be a very general area where I would want to pay attention to. So I'm going to mark it at the base of that first candle, like right there. First red candle, this guy. And I'll keep an eye on this. Is it a big level? Not really. Okay, not really. Okay, and then probably the most obvious are the tops, right? These are probably the easiest to mark. Where do I want to pay attention to? Well, here's the first wick I want to pay attention to right here, right? The first time it rejected was right here. This is a top. Pushed higher, came back down. Why am I drawing it here instead of the exact wick? Well, if I look to the right, I can see another wick here. I continue looking to the right, I could see another drop right here off that level. If I continue looking to the right, this is an area where the price moved up and then again started its rally, flush down, right? Drop, base, drop, started the thing down. So I want to know here. And I want to mark the top of this. Okay, so I can mark the exact top if I want to. Right here. Come on. F420. But because we're making our levels a little more widespread, I don't want to know exactly when the top hits. I want to know a little beforehand. So I'm gonna grab that wick right there instead of that one. Couple cents here and there, again, does not matter. You have a lot of room for error. What matters is how you read the price action when the price comes into that level to make decisions. All right, let's keep moving to the right, work our way back down to mark additional areas of interest. Okay, so coming back down, we grabbed this area, we pulled higher, we came back down, made a lower high, and came down. Do I want to know this area? Yeah, I want to know this area. I want to know each and every one of the lower highs. Okay, so where do I want to mark it? Well, if I mark it exactly right here, and I can, absolutely can, there's nothing wrong with it. That's some place I can pay attention to. But I want you to kind of think about, if I go to the left, where is the first sign of weakness coming off this level? It's actually right here, right? You see the price, you see the candle moving higher, but then it sells off. It sells off. This is the first sign that we had sellers come into play off a massive run. You see this candle, previous candle, it's almost a full candle, right? This is nothing but buyers here. No sellers in sight. First time sellers showed up. Okay, so I'm interested in this one right here. Can you mark this one? Can I move this down here if I want to? Absolutely. Nothing wrong with it. You can do whatever you like. You're still within the nice range, right? If I were to mark this level and say, hey, this week I want to pay attention, look at that. I'm pretty much grabbing that entire area to pay attention to. Okay, so interested there as a level that I want to pay attention to. Okay, so let's keep working our way down. We grabbed some of these levels off here, so we don't have to work too much On this end, is there another lower high? Well, right here, right? So if you look at it, here's that one right here, okay? We already caught this guy. Here's one more. And there's one right there, right? So we caught that guy. We marked this one. We marked that level. We want to mark this peak right here, okay? We already kind of have this one right here. I'm interested in this one as well right here. So I want to mark all these little peaks, right? All these peaks on the trend, downtrend. Okay, so where do we put it? Well, let's put it right there. Yeah, like it right there, right? I don't want the exact wick. I want a little bit below the wick. And it seems to work well with this. Look at the consolidation phase right here, right? I wasn't paying attention to it, but it helps confirm it. You could see the buyers step in, rejection, buyers step in again, okay? Push above, comes back down, rejects again. This is an area of consolidation. This is also an area where the price held for a week or so, right? More than a week, almost 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. So yeah, I'm interested there. Where else would I want to keep my eye? Is that bottom area. Okay, so this area starts to get a little bit complicated. I want to pay attention here. But more so, I want to grab that area right there. Okay, is it a big area to pay attention to? Probably not. Okay, probably not. I think the bigger area to pay attention to is this 366. So grab that. Okay. You know what? Actually, I'm not going to grab that, and I'll show you why. I'm going to move this one down. I want right there. Okay, and this is all part of doing this manually, putting these levels. It's kind of checking your work. Does it make sense to put it there? Yeah, you can, but I like it more here. This is an area where the price fell and took off, right? So it held that support. I like that. If I look here, it rejected here and it held this level for almost 4 days here in this week, and then another 3 days here. So something's happening at this level, okay? Something's happening at this level. Somebody's interested. Am I close enough to this lower high? Yeah, fairly. I can perceive. I rather know earlier, right? I rather know earlier as the price is moving up that this is a level where there was a lot of support and it can act as resistance. And there's also a lower high just right above it that I could be paying attention to as well. Okay, so this gives me a little bit more of an earlier notice. I can kind of justify why I'm putting it there based on what I see here more recently. And so I will mark that area. Okay. All right. So let's work our way down. All right. So where's another area we want to pay attention to? Well, we mark this bottom area, 344. Right. We got this area. There's a big gap below it. We need to know about it. So if I was trading right now, right, assume that we're right here, right? We made that gap, we lowered, and I want to play the gap fill. I don't want to mark 336.61. I don't want this right here, okay? This level right here, I don't want that. Why? Because I don't want to know at the very last minute that we're going for a gap fill. I want to know earlier, way earlier, okay? So Where am I interested? Well, let me see. Can we justify another area to mark somewhere in this range? We can mark the base of this candle. We can go slightly lower and mark the wick of this candle. Okay, so this could work right here. Let's see. We could mark. Trying to look for things on the left side that can help me justify a level to put there. Okay, so I don't want to randomly just put a level that doesn't make sense. I want it to have some sort of significance. So perhaps we come back to this area, okay? Because I don't see anything clear to just outright mark right now. There's just a lot of up and down chop right here. Yeah. There's a rally, base rally. Can I mark that area? Yeah, this could be a good area. Rally, base rally. Here's what I'm talking about, right? You see that? Rally, base rally, drop, rejection, 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 rejection. So there's something there. I just don't see it clearly right now. That's worth marking. So I'm going to leave that area blank. We'll revisit. Okay, let's come back down to the more recent price level. Is this area worth noting? Yeah. So this is a previous area of support right here that turned into well, support one more time here. That also acted as resistance. Okay, so I want to know. Let's just kind of grab it right there, right? So I'm grabbing this one first. And then I'm going to grab the one, excuse me, right above it. Right here. Right there. Okay. Let's move it just a tad bit lower. Just because majority of that is coming right here. Basically the base of this is what I'm marking, right? Base of this is what I'm marking. That's what I want to know. It coincides perfectly with these bounces right here. Held right here, broke below, rally, base, rally, right? So a series of higher highs and higher lows on the lower time frame right here that led to this breakout, pull back, hold, and then it took off.